Hello. Welcome to episode 8 um, of my investment journey. In the last video, I did mention that I started a position in Novacyt. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to sort of do an update or sort of like a review. Well, it's not really a review, it's just to go through the notes that I've got down and my reasons for going into this, as the objective has never been for this channel to pretty much suggest something for you to go into or give you any sort of financial advice. The idea is for me to to sort of have a video out there or some sort of recording that would remind me something I can go back to, I don't know, in a week, in a month, or in a year's time, and I can look back to where my thought process was when I started investing in a particular company. Um, in today's case, it's Novacyt. So I'm just gonna very quickly go through this company and why I'm choosing this as one of the 10 companies that I want to go into for the next 5 years. What this means is I will be piling onto this quite aggressively for the next couple of months. Um, Unless something comes out to discourage me um, or stop me from investing into this. Um, Another company I've probably spoken about in the past is Clinigen, which I will end up going into, but it's sort of going a bit too expensive for me at the moment, and I'm just waiting for it to pull back at some point. And if it doesn't pull back, then hey, I'll probably just buy into it at some point. But anyways, I ramble on. Novacyt. I'm not gonna introduce this company to you because I think if you care enough about it, you can find out what they do. This is in the shortest form of it is they deal in both manufacturing and creation and manufacturing of diagnostics tools. Um, they, and also they have VersaLab, which uh, is a lab that sort of carries out this services, um, diagnostic services of varying ranges. Or well, anyways, you can find this information there. I just want to go into the first part of it is market cap at the moment, or when I bought into it. My average is at a market cap of £300 million. The current shares and issues is 71 million, which is really good and low for me. This has probably got the lowest shares and issues in any of the companies that I'm invested in at the moment. Synergy has 200 million, which, if you know about shares and issue, it can be a double-edged sword. Um, I think I prefer at the moment to have a low number of shares in issue than the higher range ones. So that's really good. What that means is, on the bad news, they will drop sharply, and on good news, they will spike up very quickly. Um, so just a quick look into the past, although I think this is irrelevant now. But in 2019, the revenue was 11.5 million. Gross margin was 64%. The cash position was 18 million, I'm guessing. Million. Yeah. So that's sort of the past. But again, this virus that we're all going through changed the fortunes of this company completely. So my initial thinking with this company, especially since last year, I've been looking into this, was I needed new companies that I sort of see them taking root or like considerably thriving for the next 5 years. So I see them as okay. They've been around for a little while, so they haven't just ridden this cocktail of this, the coattail of this virus that we're going through. But they've been around for a while, and they've just now had the opportunity to sort of blossom and shine through, um, generating cash as of last year or even before, but generating cash is at good value. And I feel like going forward, they can use the cash they get from this opportunity to sort of build up on it and, create a future for themselves. This company is one of those. So they came into last year before the virus started with 18 million. Now, the full year result for last year, the revenue was 277 million pounds. This is a company of a market cap of 300 million, generated a revenue of 277 million, at a gross margin of greater than 80%. EBITDA, which is earnings before tax, depreciation, and amortization, is 187 million. Cash position at the end of last year was 91 million point eight. They hired a lot more people, 124 people, to support growth. And at the end of last year, they bought thesis, which is the company that manufactures two of their products, which is the Q16 and the Q32. I think this was a really good acquisition. Um, um, if you've probably watched or listened to my first video, one of my favorite thing ever is being vertically integrated. The ability for you to sort of own um, your manufacturing chain, which means you could review it very often and you could make better, uh, make it better, is a good thing for a company. When manufacturing or part of your supply chain or your manufacturing chain is in-house, then you could make very quick decisions to make things better, and you could also improve it as the company improves. So that's a definite plus. Now, 2021 so far, in the first quarter alone, 72 million pounds. 50% of it is from the HSC. Now, the reason why, because I started looking into this company when it was around £11, and it's actually less than £4 down. The reason why I started buying into it at £4.50 was it dropped massively because the news came out that there was a dispute with the DHSC contract that they'd already fulfilled. So some of the money from last year is being contended. Um, so that obviously spooked the market and sold off considerably. So 50%, that's the reason why I've put this here. 50% of this is DHSC, which I'm pretty sure isn't going to go forward. So from this quarter onwards, about half of this, which is about 36 million, is from other sources of income. So I'd probably expect that to carry on for the next 3 quarters, or even increase considerably. I think it will increase considerably for the next 3 quarters, and I'll explain why later on in this video. Just a quick product, ProMate Q16, Q30. I don't really want to spend too much time on it because this video would be a long one. Looking at the competition, so you've got the Q16 and the Q32. This is how it stands against the competition at the moment. As you would probably see here, what I pay attention to the most here is capacity, processing time, and cost. Those three. Now, when you look at the capacity for this, means you can do 14 tests at a time. This can do one, that for one. That's 14 and that's 30. And the processing time is in an hour. So that means at the higher end, you could do 30 tests an hour. In terms of efficiency, it pretty much leaves this other competitors in the dust. So things like this is what gets me very excited with a company like this. It's just innovation is pretty much in the DNA of this company. They move fast and they innovate fast and they come up with really, really good stuff. Solutions, genuine solutions. I'm very, very excited when it comes to this company. So he just goes over the revenue again, what the other companies made selling this, and pay attention to the cost here. Yeah. So even though this is half the price for this, but you can also see that you can do one test for every half an hour. Um, yeah. But anyways, that's that. This is where they sit in the market. So as it stands now with the PCR tests, you've got those that can be done at the point of care and those that get sent back to the lab, right? Um, as you can see, the Q16 and the Q32, it sits right in the middle of both. So it's pretty much the best of both worlds. You could have it at the point of care, which is amazing because then you don't have to send samples back to the lab to get it processed and then brought back. And that's pretty much what this is. This is for me visually, just for me to look back and go, okay, um, this is another reason why I'm into this. The update that came out last month was, everything else that, it sort of breaks it down going into Q1. This is what's been released in terms of innovation and new product. And then in the Q2, and then it's got the Q3, which is the only one that I care about right now, to be honest. Right now, it's moving out. I say moving. Well, lateral flow tests, there's a massive market for it right out there now. And they looking to start producing that, I think, as of May, or is it end of May? Yeah, end of May. And they looking to start with 1 million a week of lateral flow tests. So that's something that has zero revenue at the moment that I think going forward will generate even more revenue. Um, that's not to say PCR tests are going away. I genuinely don't think they will because um, they're more accurate than the lateral flow tests, and also you would always need to sequence new variants of this virus, and there's no way to do that with the lateral flow tests. But it's just a way for them to dip their hand in, I don't know, in another market, I guess. Um, Again, that's the breakdown of the company I think as it stands. It's just the lab, primer designs, and microgen. You can look more into it when you get the time. And I think the final part is just why, or what I expect. Actually, this is not why, but what I expect by the end of this year, or my expectations. The first point is that the dispute with the DHSC has been resolved one way or another, preferably in our favor, and none of the earnings from last year is affected by that. I expect no further revenue from DHSC going forward. I expect lateral flow tests to start by the end of this month or maybe early next month, and that to do well. In terms of my expectation, I sort of think in the ballpark of having 200 million in the bank by the end of 2021. Mind you, they've got almost 150 million Yes, I know some of it might get challenged or disputed with the DHSC dispute going on. What about 150 million in the bank? Oh, that's almost half of the market cap in the bank at the moment, and there's 3 quarters to go. So to come up with, I don't know, an extra 60 million or 50 million for the rest of the year, I don't think will be a challenge. So 200 million by the end of the year. Now, what do I expect for them to do with that going forward? They have over 550 diagnostics tests sitting in their portfolio. Yeah, a wide range of tests that now you've got 200 million to spend to develop these tests. For me, this is the key. It's not just the money you make from this opportunity, but what you do with the money. As we've seen, that some of the money made last year was spent on acquisition of ITs, which is to make the company even more vertically integrated and to increase the profit margin. Um, they could make more acquisitions to expand, or they could use some of the money also to develop what they've currently got in the portfolio. Um, as far as companies goes, or as far as any individual goes, you can sit there and you can have all the ideas in the world, but if you don't have the funding to do it, then it's not going to go anywhere. The combination for me that waters my mouth when it comes to this company is they've got the ideas, the market is there, and they will have the money. Um, so that's that. And then just a little note um, that I've just put at the end there. Um, so where do I see this company? I see this company as a $1 billion company in the very near term, in my honest opinion. And this is my opinion and my opinion only. I feel like there's a lot of uncertainty at the moment. In the UK, we're doing really well with this virus. And the view is that it's not needed anymore and it's in the background now. And every company that is dealing in this is sort of taking the plunge at the moment. But even if the market ends today, they've got 150 million in the bank to spend on whatever it is they want to spend money on. And this company has got a track record of doing really, really good stuff, moving quickly, innovating. I completely trust them to utilize that 150 million to make multiples of it in revenue. So in the near term, I see them as a $1 billion company. In 5 years' time, I see them as multi-billion-dollar company, meaning a potential, return on my investment. Again, all of this, as with every investment, as an element of risks, but this is what I'm willing to go into. Just a side note or something to say, like to add before I leave, is very recently they provided 1 million tests to the UNICEF as a gesture of goodwill. I think that's gonna go a long way in sort of creating a good image or a good advert for this company going forward. I feel like that is going to generate a lot of income or revenue going forward, or contracts going forward. Anyways, I'm not sure how long this video is, but I would say this is my short update or reason why I'm going to Novacyt. Thank you. God bless.